All right, that's enough Tarzan boy for us. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? We are live, and we are about to make some playoff magic happen. First time ever in playoff history. There are two Clints with one pavilion. I'm Clint. That guy over there is Clint. What's going on, man? I think did you did you already freeze on me?
I shouldn't have.
All right, there you go. Yeah, you're good. I think yeah, it's buffering, man. There's too much excitement going on.
Yeah, there's excitement in the air. Got the Atlanta Braves in town, in your town. You're a little bit nervous. Maybe I feel some unrest in the force when I refresh Twitter all day. Hopefully, we can calm those fears or maybe bring them more to light. Who knows? But I'm excited about this. We waited all year for this, and we're in our backyard, so we got to feel a little bit good about that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wouldn't call it so much nervous or whatever. It's just I know the media is gonna attack our boys, man. If we happen to lose game one, that's why I'm looking at. Let me move these. I got to move these down a little bit. They look a little bit high, but we lose game one. Like I was telling you before the show, you got the media narrative. All of a sudden, oh, they're still thinking about game seven. Oh, why didn't they start Kershaw in game one? And we'll get to all that. We'll kind of break down our takes on Kershaw going in game two. Talk a little bit about his feel. All we asking right now, first, everybody watching the stream, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you happen to be watching, welcome to the stream. But also comment where you're watching the game today. Hey, where you're watching us. Let us know your area code, your zip code, your yada yada. Let's see. We got Alma. She's watching on a bus in Fontana. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, so we've got some people over here on Periscope. A couple people telling me they can't hear me. My volume's really low.
Yeah, I'm adjusting it right now. We'll see if it. I'm not sure if it's me on this setup, but you guys let us know if I'm too loud or if he's too low. Maybe I'll turn me down.
That's my boy Kick It with Kush letting me know that we're a little bit too low. We got Benjamin L from the 626. We've got Carlos O2 DIC all the way from Guadalajara, Mexico. That's awesome. WCVIC all the way from Dallas, Texas. We got let's see, the AC 943 joining us, and then Donna. Man, we're getting all kinds of shout outs here. I'm gonna keep these going for a minute.
Go for it.
Donna Recapena at work in the 951. What's up, Donna? Let's see here. There's the AC 943 saying they can't hear me at all. So
well,
they're saying I'm low.
Huh? That's odd.
So
shouldn't be that way, but I'll crank them up. You guys let us know if that helps. I don't know if I'm just too loud, maybe.
Well, it's we got a 972 shouting out here, but yeah. So hopefully you guys can hear what I'm saying. If not, FRG's a hell of a guy to lead you through all this. But no, there's nothing on the fly that can be thrown at me and him that we can't handle here on Two Clints, One Pavilion. Let me know if this volume's getting a little bit better, guys. But yeah, we do have Hunjin starting tonight.
Yeah.
And that's the big angle. You had Kershaw speaking with the media a little bit before the game. Did you catch any of that interview, FRG? I haven't had a chance to really watch the whole thing.
I got some of the good quotables on it, and he seems, he was a bit ticked off on it. I mean, understandably, you kind of get where he's coming from. He's a guy who's led off, game one for, well, at least this last 6 years in a row, or 5 years in a row beforehand. But I like this. I think it was the right call, and it's not so much people talking about homeboy Ryu being better. It's more so this rotation has been working for the better part of the last month or so. Ryu, Kershaw, Buehler has been pretty lights out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't see it as the media is trying to make this a slight, right? They're trying to generate a story. That's what they're paid to do. I don't see it in any way as a slight. We're giving Kershaw an extra day's rest. He's going to go on a Friday night, tomorrow night, in possibly the biggest game of the series.
Yeah.
I just don't see it as you know, something. It's funny because the quote that I see hanging out there is Kershaw said, "I don't have to prove anything to anybody."
Yeah, that was the big one.
You know, so it's like it's sad that that angle is being taken with it. He doesn't have anything to prove. You know, I mean, really.
But doesn't he kind of though? Like in a little way, it just feels like it.
Well, I feel like he proved it last year in a way. I mean, you know, he didn't shut down everybody every game, but first time out of the chute, he was pretty terrific. I think all 3 series he had a shutdown game, if memory serves me correct. So, you know, I mean, again, I don't see it as like the slight that the media is trying to make it, but you're right, they're out like piranhas.
Yeah.
Right now. And if you guys are still tuning in on Periscope, you know, let me know if I'm sounding any better. Again, you know, we're working out some technical playoff kinks here. As I got the playoff shades going. If you guys can hear me, you know, or cannot hear me, let me know, and we'll, you know, we'll do a rest to work something on the fly.
Yeah, I might just be too loud, so I'm still trying to figure it out and just. That's what's hard. I have to throw another headset in my ear, but I got a 30-second delay that we're running on, so it's hard to catch up with all that stuff that keeps happening. But I'm falling behind on a lot of shout outs over here on Facebook side. We got Ridgecrest, California, William Keys hanging out with us. Thanks for coming out. We got Mike. Mike is hanging out at his house after his son's soccer practice, so that's good. Let me. We got the 937 hanging out, Denver, Colorado hanging out, probably also watching this 2-0 Milwaukee game.
So I can't hear you, Clint.
All right, I'm coming back up. Apparently sound's going to be a problem today.
Better there.
You gotta love that, man. We gotta love sound troubles. Let's see. 213 represent. We got Nova Scotia, Canada hanging out. 661 Palmdale, Springfield, Ohio. El Paso in the house. Kent, what's going on, guys? Orange, Virginia. There we go. Let's see. 909. And this is also hard. I have this guy in my ear. Well, I have me in my ear. Well, yeah, you're talking about Ryu then, Clint. Go ahead while I try to fiddle with this more. You
Still getting a little feedback that, you know, they're having trouble hearing me. So, you know, I don't know, but you know, so let's go over Ryu real quick here. Sometimes it feels good to have these first place shades on a night like this.
Yeah.
You know, so you guys can't see the nervousness in my eyes. No, I'm kidding. So Hyunjin Ryu, he's 7.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I'm still sorry. I'm over here trying to fix some sound stuff still, and it's
They say it sounds like I'm whispering.
I don't know what's going on with it today. It's just deciding to be a struggle bus.
So
Are you?
try plugging back in my
Yeah.
sound a little bit there. So we'll see. That could be better. You know,
Yeah, I mean, for everybody, you know, it sounds great in my ear. You sound perfect in my ear. They should be on this side of it then. You gotta love the struggle, man.
well, you know, hey, we'll work through this. You know, I think we're 11 shows in. First time we've had a little bit of sound difficulty. If it sounds better or worse, you know, let us know, guys. But you know, what do you think about the guy who's opposing Ryu tonight, Clint?
Well, this Folty, I've been calling him Folty. You know, let me go ahead and throw the.
This sounds better. This sounds better.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Miss Melly 8. I appreciate it.
Let's see. So yeah, looking at throwing the screen up now. Mike Foltynewicz, he got 13-10 on the year, first All-Star berth for the kid, 2.85 ERA on the season, threw up a bunch of strikeouts. You know what, man? He's somebody who, in the past, that has he's pitched pretty well against the Dodgers. He's not somebody who's been exceptionally lights out, but well enough at Dodger Stadium as well. But the stats are oh wait, no, bad. I was going the other way. There was the other guy who was kind of better. Sorry, I'm still struggling here. But yeah, 5.5 ERA and 2 games started at Dodger Stadium in the past. The last time out, against the Dodgers. He was serviceable. I'm ready now. I'm locked in. Serviceable at Dodger Stadium last time out. 3 earned runs, 6 1/3 innings, solid enough. You were talking about how he kind of compares, similarly to German Marquez, who we just faced on Monday. That the stuff is kind of pretty similar. He's a hard fastball guy, and that's something. That's the type of pitcher that the Blues been kind of eating up of late. It feels like.
Yeah, Clint, if there's one thing in our favor, I mean, I think that it is we are coming off a guy that's really similar to Foltynewicz.
Yeah.
Marquez was humming it on Monday, bringing, 96, 98 gas. And our guys, for the most part, handled it. And, Folty comes out tonight. He'll have similar stuff. I'm not sure how his, breaking stuff compares, but I know the things he tries to do with the fastball, working it up and down, again, at high 90s, that's going to be key for him, just like it was Marquez. And this is a team that lives and dies by the home run. So if you can get him to leave one over the hot zone or the middle of the plate, you're going to see us be able to take advantage.
Yeah, and I'd like to take advantage, man. I'm just saying, let's take advantage of the guy early, because
let's make him sweat, make him work into a lather like I did when we were having sound troubles.
I don't know. I had it in my ear right now. It still feels like we're having sound troubles, but if people are saying it sounds better, that's all that matters.
Yeah, they're saying they can hear me now. So keep those hearts coming on the Periscope TV.
Yeah, Periscope. Let's check out anything going on. We got some Facebook. Somebody also talking about on YouTube having a hard time hearing. Isn't that real swell? I'm gonna do that. Plug back in. Kind of fiddle here. I doubt that's gonna make a difference, but you know what? If not, at least we're gonna get saved by the graphics, guys. I think that's the plan. And we got
graphics game is key, man.
the kids in the background are angry too about the sound. It sounds like. So let's talk about one thing too. So again, we have game 1. It's set up. It's coming in about 45 minutes. Game 2 matchup set up. You got Kershaw. We were talked about going game 2 against Anibal Sanchez, which it makes sense, man. Anibal is somebody who's had he's had a lot of postseason experience. He's had a lot of experience against the Dodgers in the past, so that lines up well. But I think the real thing, the early question marks of the day was the rosters. As we throw up our original our roster selection. So my 25 man, I had a little bit. I line up different. I look at the lineup and then I look at the bench. But the concerns I had, kind of looking at it, was you have a lot of right-handed batters on the bench, and I don't know how we really want to. You need something. You need something lefty. So that's why I was going with Verdugo over Dozier. It looks like they didn't go that way. I love the rotation, the way it lines up. Bullpen, you know what? There's some questions there. We'll bring it up when we get to the actual roster there. But yeah, I had Julio in, and I had Venditti getting that last spot. I think he's just done so much to really establish himself. Oh, you got some squealing going on back there, man.
Yeah. So
well-oiled machine.
Take the wheel 1 second here. Go over my playoff roster. I'm gonna be right back.
Got you, man. Go handle.
Hang on 1 second.
This is a well-oiled machine we got going today, guys. So Clint over here, Mr. Evans, he had a very, very important roster for himself. He just wanted to go with all Bellingers. That's what he told me. He told me he's running all Bellinger all day. I don't know how I feel about that roster, to be honest. It's definitely not the way I would go with the roster. Just throwing that out there. A bunch of Bellingers doesn't win it for me. But here we have the actual roster, borrowed from the Dodgers on Twitter. This is the official roster, and the big time question marks of the addition of Ryan Madson over somebody like a Josh Fields, over somebody like anybody else. So Ryan Madson, it just doesn't cut it for me. Brian Dozier, you knew he was somebody who was going to get that last spot. Everything was lined up to it, especially after the final good game he had there in San Francisco. You knew it was going to happen, and it's not the worst. I'm not that mad at it, but you'd still like to see them feel the slightly more competitive edge off of the bench. You want to be able to bounce back and forth, lefty, righty. You have to match up a little bit better, and you guys let us know, or let me know right now while somebody lays the hammer down. But see, we got people asking and people answering the question in the stream here. What time's the game? It would be at, actually it's 5:37 is first pitch at beautiful Dodger Stadium. We got Fernie with an LA determined. Thank you for hanging out. You got Michael with the see me, feel me, touch me valley. You gotta love it, man. It's glorious. Elliot, Torrance, California. What is going on, Elliot? Unfortunately, Fernie, Urias is not ready to go. Like I was saying, he's somebody that I'm looking at the numbers, and I was really on board with Julio. Granted, it was a small sample size. You only have 3 games for Julio, 4 innings pitched, but the dude allowed only 1 hit, 7 Ks, no walks, and he's somebody who just was dominating in his time. Of course, I think we got Mr. Evans back now, and I'm talking about Julio right now. We had somebody on the stream asking about Julio being ready to go, and that's why I felt like this series made the most sense for him to be a part of, with the 2 at home, 2 on the road, 1 at home, with the time in between. I don't know. What do you feel? Do you feel it was the right call to not have Urias on the roster?
Well, with the way he was throwing the ball lately, in high 90s, I'm like you. I was excited, for him as a left-handed option. But our Dodgers Nation post-game host, and check him out. I think he's going live after the game. Greg Bergman. He brought up a good point. He's just not a guy right now. Urias, he feels like he's not a guy right now that you can use on back-to-back days.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, I definitely can't.
If you're going to put him on the postseason roster, as I think you were just touching on, with the way you'd have to split his days up, he might hamstring you if you get a game that runs 13 or 14 innings one night. He's the last guy in the pen, and you can't pitch him. You run into that problem. But I'm like you. I kind of lean still towards roll the dice. See how we can use him. He is that added electricity. What's your thoughts? Do you think that he could appear on a future version, like without an injury happening, or do you think this means he's not going to pitch at all this postseason?
Yeah, I think they're keeping him off for sure. It doesn't. I think this has been my take on it for a while. He just came back too late this season. If he had come back 2-3 weeks earlier, that would have made a difference for sure. But not now. I think he. I don't know, man. We're in a good position where we have this many arms, where you can question having somebody of that talent level not on the roster. But it is what it is, man. I'm going to go ahead and not question Roberts. I'm going to say it was the right call.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I think, and I don't know, kind of where we're at leading up to that point. My daughter's a little bit nervous about the game, apparently, too. so I had to go calm her fears. Hey, Brewers 2-0, bottom of the 8th.
Yep.
They're holding serve. They're holding serve at home. But one thing I think that also you touched on before I had to run. We don't have that extra left-handed punch off the bench on a night like tonight.
Yeah.
Because they did opt to go with the experience of Brian Dozier, which I think you saw on my picks. I knew they'd do that, and I think you knew.
Yeah.
You admitted to me you knew they would too, but you wanted to see Verdugo on there. I would, man. I totally agree that, irregardless of experience, you've got to go. I think you've got to give a lefty a shot there. We could run into some matchup problems.
Yeah.
Atlanta's got a few Penn lefties I know that are pretty tough, but we've got, on a night like tonight, we have no left-handed option on the bench, correct?
Yeah, no, that's once if anybody gets pulled at some point in the game, you're kind of like you said, you're hamstrung. That's who you're stuck with, or that's who you're with. And that's kind of the other part of it. The other problem with 40-man roster in September, you get so used to playing a certain way, playing with for fun and playing with house money, and then all of a sudden, it's just, oh, we're back to normal, and now I don't know how to manage a game right, or I don't know who to bring in at this particular time. So I don't like it, but yeah, I would have liked to seen at least one lefty make it. But also I'll throw the roster, the actual back up there again. If you're looking at it, all of these dudes, they needed to be on the roster either way. You can't leave Freeze off. You can't leave Kike off. Muncie's going to have a huge series. You can mark that one down. CT3 is so versatile. He can play literally anywhere exceptionally well. Hashtag let Taylor catch. But I don't know. I mean, there was no wrong call on the position player side, I think, unless they had gone with like an Utley. But that's what I've liked. I've talked about it before. I like it feels like Roberts is sort of starting to manage outside the box, outside of his little managerial box. Case in point, Kershaw not going game one. You might not necessarily definitely see Jansen in the ninth, depending on the situation or something. You might see him in earlier and Maeda close. I think he's getting a little bit more interchangeable with it right now, and that's the better way to go.
Yeah, you're right, man. And as I kind of played with the postseason rosters, there just wasn't a lot of checkers for me to move, or chess pieces for me to move, and
yeah,
it's just they're with the way we are laid out, and people, I hear people calling into MLB Network on my drive home saying, the Dodgers have two full lineups. They've got a round of right-handed guys, they've got a round of left-handed guys. I mean, with the way we are geared this year, there's really not a lot of moves that we can make. So, that's a great point. So what do you think about, kind of switching gears, and people out there, let us know your confidence level on Kenley Jansen. Most confident out of 10. I don't think we're going to see a lot of 10s, but least confident out of 1. Where are you at? Where's your temperature with Kenley Jansen? How are you feeling about him right now?
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's he's coming off a career worst year. Like, I have the numbers. He went 1-5, ERA 3.01 with a 4.03 FIP, which is it takes away the luck. It's just what he produces. For anybody who doesn't know about fielding independent pitching ERA, 2.26 ERA in the second half. He gave up, 13 home runs allowed on the season. 8 of those were 97 at bats in the second half. Not good. 4.26 ERA in the second half. Only 4 blown saves on the year. It's not the worst, but his strikeouts are way down. His strikeouts to walk ratio is way down. It's just nothing about it's lining up super. I wouldn't say healthy. I mean, there's definitely concern, man. That's always going to be something that weighs in the back of our mind. That those 2 home runs, the back-to-back shots in Game 163. Honestly, man, it was embarrassing. You have a 5-0 shutout. You're stomping on these dudes. You take away from the shine of an amazing Buehler start. I don't know. I think if you get him in, what was the other number? Yeah, 3.81 ERA in a non-save situation. He was inserted in 27 games where clearly he's not ready to produce at his level. He needs that adrenaline. He's an adrenaline guy, and he needs a save. He needs a 1-2 run lead, something like that. He's got to make that to get it up right now for him, and hopefully Doc puts him in the right position to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. It's funny because this has been going on for a little while, but it was you who brought non-save Kenley to my attention. I forget what series that was. I want to say it was against the Rockies, but it was around the time he had the Harder trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, he's a different pitcher, like you said.
Yeah.
Whether it's adrenaline, whether it's he needs something to he's like a golfer that needs to be betting on every hole to produce. That's what it reminds me of. But yeah, the other day, it was the perfect day. We're gonna shut these guys out, and then suddenly, boom, boom, 2 home runs into each pavilion level, and again, we still won the game, but it just doesn't have that warm, rosy feeling to it as we go to the playoffs. And I did something very awful the other day. Because I believe let me know if anybody else out there is like this. I went back and watched Game 2 of the World Series. I fell asleep.
You're a monster. You're a terrible person.
I am. I'm an awful man. But I think sometimes in life, to get what's lost, we have to go back. And I went back, and he gave up. He gave up a big bomb that night. To friend of the show, not friend of the show, Marwin Gonzalez.
Oh yeah.
But again, he's got something to prove this postseason. Man.
Yes.
Kenley Jansen's got to be sharp. Chances are we're going to see him in the next 3 nights at least once. My question for you and anyone else out there: we are up 4-0 or 5-0 in the 9th. You going to Voldemort? You going to La Mula Pedro Baez? Or are you going to Kenta Maeda? Or just playing matchups?
Maeda. I would say Voldemort, because anybody who's not here, I'm not allowed to say his name. I can't say his ungod-given name, so I call him Voldemort, he who shan't be named. As the wife stares me down with an angry look. I just got the death stare for even thinking about saying his name, and I won't, because it's working. But I was just honestly, I was just talking to my brother about that earlier in the day. I really like the setup this season with not having to rely on him. Voldemort is somebody who in the past, save for last year, but in the past has been that guy that the guy that I'm getting a text, by the way, from my podcast co-host Kevin, who's coming over to watch the game with me tonight. So I'm sure that should be some fun for people if we decide to mess around on Twitter. But in the past, what was it, 2016, 2015, so much was relied upon in the right arm of Voldemort, and he's not an 8th inning guy. He's not a setup guy. Again. That's another thing where you got somebody who's put in a position to not succeed, and put in that position over and over again, whether it's Don Mattingly or whether it's Doc Roberts rolling him out there. Well, finally this season, I think everybody was so happy, and let's not say that Kenta Maeda wasn't getting it done in the rotation, but once he was moved and Stripling was moved out and put in the pen, it's just everything sort of took the right shape. Whatever this means is I used my hands for it to take the right shape. You have a legitimate, potentially dominant 8th inning guy, and that's somebody we haven't had, of course, all season, but we haven't had since Brendan Morrow. But even Morrow last season, there was a struggle, and it's something I've thought about for a while, but it was recently in LA Times where either Dylan or the other guy were Dylan or Andy were talking about how last season you had Brandon Morrow and Kenley Jansen. Both are dudes that like to live up in the strike zone, and there's the Astros were able to capitalize on that. They're bats who are ready for that strike up in the strike zone, or that pitch up in the zone, and they were able to attack, and especially in Game 2 off of Jansen. But I really do love, as much as people won't want to hear it, with how lights out Morrow was last postseason. I like Maeda over Morrow as the 8th inning guy, because Maeda is that guy. He likes being down in the zone. He's a fastball down, but he can move it up, and he's got that nasty slider plus an insane changeup when it's on. So I think him being ahead of Jansen really helps Jansen out in the 9th, because you got 2 different views of the ball, and I don't know if that if you echo a similar sentiment on that as well, but it's something I felt.
That's a great point. I mean, seriously, I haven't heard anyone. Did you say like one of the guys wrote that? You got that?
Yeah, I've thought about it for a while, but somebody it's the first time I've seen my thought put into print, whether it be cyberprint or somebody who actually would go out and still buy a newspaper.
Right.
But
next time you have a thought like that,
yeah,
it my way, and I'll write it before Dylan does.
There you go.
That is a great point, man. I mean, again, there's something to getting hitters uncomfortable in the box, and you're right. That combination, if they, changing the eyesight,
yeah,
in between, absolutely. It's not something where you can really get comfortable because they have such you know, different styles.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you. I'm sticking. I know my 8 gave up a couple big shots there late in the year, but he's still my 8th inning horse. I'm going to ride him. And ride him hard, and I like his durability a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than a Morrow. You know, these next 11 or so or 15 games that we need him. You know, I don't think we're not gonna be able to ride him and wear him down like we did Seabiscuit Brendan Morrow last year. But you know,
you found a way to mix it in. I'm proud of you.
Well, yeah, I was talking about the Milwaukee Brewers.
But still, yeah.
But
yeah.
Same concept. I mean, you know, we whipped that pen hard last year, baby, and I don't think. You know, this is a different group. They're a little bit more durable. The workload's going to be spread. I think if anybody it takes on a Josh Fields role, you know, a guy that doesn't come in. You know, who did I text you that it was going to be today? It's Matt's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was talking a bit about earlier when you were laying down the law. It's like, you know, Mattson, I think, is the biggest surprise on the roster. You know, you knew Wood was going to get it, was going to get that last spot. Like I had Urias over Wood, but then again, I'm somebody who manages intelligently and not with the computers, air quote. But but yeah, I mean, Mattson, who's somebody I didn't even bother to write down his numbers because you know what, the numbers are bad. He has an ERA. I think he gave up 6 earned runs in 8 2/3 inning as a Dodger in September, and that's somebody that warrants a spot. That one I don't understand.
Yeah, it's weird, man. You know, it's like we were texting, and somebody in that scouting department must really just, you know, have their jollies for Mattson. And,
yeah.
You know, must be telling our guys, you know, he's got great stuff. You know, he's got something that can help us because again, I didn't see it. You know, I mean, again, I have very little confidence in him. And thanks for Sam Bam 10 for the shout out on Periscope. He's live at the Ravine. I'm jealous of you, buddy. So good in tonight. I can't even imagine what it might be like there tonight after the sun goes down. If I could be anywhere in the world right now, it'd be there, you know, with you. I understand you're going to be there tomorrow night.
I was going to say, one note, I will be at the game tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly where we're sitting, but I got that Primo comp seat tomorrow using my FRG swagger. They're like, hey, that guy, we want him at the game.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen it once before. You know, you know people. You're a good guy to know if you're out there, and that's awesome, man. You have to do a little gumshoe reporting for us out there tomorrow.
Yeah.
See what trouble you can get into.
Yeah, I'll go up on live and make sure I piss off everybody. I'll piss off Gary, Mr. Gary Lee.
Go up and goose Ron Cervanka for me, will you?
YouTube over here. So we got YouTube. We got One Savage asking if we're going to stream the game. Yes or no? The answer is no, but the game will be on MLB Network. Anybody that does have trouble trying to get the game even from there, maybe you don't have cable, or maybe you have a package with somebody who doesn't have, what is it on? On MLB Network tonight. Go ahead and slip into the DMs of our fearless postgame host, Mr. Greg Bergman. That's at Bergman Greg on Twitter. Or even get to him on Instagram side, but he's letting people access his super secret stream code. I think, yeah, I think he's doing it in exchange for coupons for Burger King or something like that. I'm not too sure.
Another guy you got to know when you're in LA. He's got people in high places. But,
yeah.
Where are we at now as far as? We haven't gone over the lineup.
We haven't gone over the lineup yet, but I want to get through the stream because we've been bad about it. We've been real bad about it today. But Raider Mike kind of he echoes our sentiment about the Dozier over Utley. He says Dozier instead of Utley will make a big difference, and yeah, absolutely. I mean, Utley was Utley's a warm fuzzy pick to have on the roster, but it's not a move that's going to help you win ball games in October. He's not 2008 Utley anymore. You know, this is an old man trying to catch up to some fastballs that just he can't get to anymore. But Frank is going to be watching the game from was it North Carolina? Way to go, Frank. So Jennifer has a story. Jennifer's ready for the World Series again because she got to go last year to Game 7, which is unfortunate. But she was talking about there's no better feeling than being at the stadium. Once in a lifetime experience right there.
Someday, Jennifer, I hope.
We'll be back. John from Bartow, Florida. Thanks for hanging out. Roxy from Glendale. There you go. It's right down the street. Fernie thinks we're due, and I agree. We got Rich Hill, literally actual, not Dodgers Rich Hill on the stream, coming from Lake Tahoe. What's going on, Rich? Crack open a beer, courtesy of me and Clinton. We're not paying for it though, but just saying.
Yeah, I mean it is the weekend, everybody. So
Yep.
You know, if you're out there tonight, my motto has always been my whole life: Thursday night's as good as the weekend. You can get through one day of anything. So have fun tonight. Crack open a few cold ones and hopefully watch the Dodgers get off to a 1-0 start.
Yeah. Jermaine is repping the 951. Let's go Dodgers. Bring on the NLDS. Let's see what else we got. We got a Go Big Blue. Let's go from Greg Farnsworth. Get it up, Kenley. We got some people talking about Kenley. Lawrence and Fernie talking about he wants him to get it going, and he's talking about the cut fastball, not cutting right now. So I kind of agree with that one. No game cast.
The lights are not twinkling, Clark.
Save the neck for me, Clark. Let's see. Yeah, somebody Teresa's helping out, saying just text or just type in Dodgers live stream and you can find it somewhere. Let's see, not on Facebook, but we got Terry coming from Carlsbad. What else we got? Let's see, Rogue River, Oregon. Cindy, what's going on, Cindy?
No Pacias out there. Hi, Cindy.
Yeah, not this time.
Pacias cousins, all right.
And Morty's asking if we're streaming the game. We're not streaming the game, Morty.
No, I mean.
Archie,
These days we'll figure something out.
what's going on, Archie? Reno, Nevada. We're actually we're in the works. We're hoping to work out a full-blown like Dodgers Nation meetup, hangout. Try to get people off of the Twitter and the internet and hang out. Let's watch a ball game somewhere. We know there's some people that are getting together off of Twitter this weekend, Friday and Sunday. I think they're getting together to watch some games locally. So that's pretty cool. You know what, man? You gotta love the. You gotta love.
I'm not jealous.
Not at all, right?
No.
You gotta love the magic of the internet. So, all of that said, and again, keep sending us your shout outs. Keep talking about things on the stream. We'll get. Sorry again for taking a while. We're getting wrapped up. Plus, when I'm trying to work out technical difficulties, it proves to be a struggle. But yes, we haven't touched on today's lineup. We've got to the matchup, but we'll go ahead. I'm gonna load it up right now. We got it up on the screen. I want you to do this for me and for everybody. I want you to read off that lineup fun. For everybody that doesn't know, every game on Twitter, rain or shine, every game on Twitter, we go ahead and post what we call lineup fun. It's our own take about the lineup that the Dodgers will be running out. So go for it, man.
Yeah, sure. As soon as I see it pop up here, but I want to give a quick shout out to some friends over on Periscope. Lisa Cupcake Smith from Adrian, Michigan, here in the Midwest. Thanks for joining us, Lisa. Booze and Shoes 88, all the way that's Louis in Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, nice.
One night in Bangkok makes a hard man stumble, right? That's a good song.
Welcome, Thailand.
All right, yeah. So the lineup tonight, leading off, Jock Shakur, left field. Rojo, third base. You know who that is.
Oh, yeah.
Mad Max Thunderdome, paying homage to the night that Charlie Steiner thought he was freaking Jock Peterson. Machado would bat cleanup at shortstop. He has money, catching, dropping, catching. Cody Ball.
I see what you did there.
Field, big hit the other night.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk a little more about it, but maybe. We got the bat liquor in right field. Los Pentos de Sexos at second base. The man who is on fire.
Yeah.
And then
pitcher,
we pay homage to the great game Street Fighter Ryu Shuriken.
Shuriken.
I credit hat tip our leader Gary Lee with
Uh-huh.
that. He was tweeting about that early this morning, but yeah, man, I like the lineup tonight.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
This is eerily similar to what took down the Rockies on Monday and worked Monday, so it's
Yeah.
going to work tonight.
Yeah, and
Hashtag analysis.
well, I guess now we can parlay that a little bit into talking about Monday. Game 163 is a game that doesn't come all that often in baseball, and definitely not to the Dodgers. But game 163 this past Monday was a pretty electric outing, save for the ninth inning. But your boy Walker Buehler, man, that guy is just, as I'm saying, welcome to the Walker Buehler era. or the area, whatever. Welcome to his area. But that guy is he's the Buell dog, man. Bulldog 2.0, the Buell doggy dog. It ain't no fun if Walker don't get none. And I love Kershaw and Walker Buehler's relationship because Kershaw doesn't want to tell him how good he is because the quote is, you don't tell him how good he is because he already knows. And you feel that with Walker. He knows he's the best guy out there on the diamond, on the mound for sure. He's the best guy out there. And I like that. I love having that kind of bravado to him, man. That's fun.
Clint, me too, man. I didn't really realize this about Buehler until I heard him talk to Alana and several people after the game. But dude's got an edge to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely not the sweet kid he looks like.
No.
On the mound. He's you stick your hand in that kid. Walker's he's tough, man. I mean,
yeah.
Again, he just he stepped on the throat the other day. He would not let off. He worried me a little bit, but it's funny, even when he doesn't have his best stuff, he shows the ability to go out there and be able to still still shut the opposition down.
Yeah.
It's scary, and again, man, he's the number one reason why I think we could absolutely charge back to the World Series. Yeah, no,
I feel really good. Like we were one season off of having that dude be what he is today and having him be 100% ready. You look at him in a game 7 or any game that Darvish started in the World Series last season, and we were pouring champagne. We were doing the march down Century Boulevard, man. So I feel really confident having that dude. I also feel confident having at least one of these two. I know one of them is kind of wishy-washy, but the heroes of Game 163. Go ahead and handle your hero.
Everyone has their moment. I'll tell you, when Belly got into that ball the other day, and guys, if you love that, if you guys got chills during that, mash that like button, mash that heart button, do the things you do. But when Belly got into that 95, 96 mile per hour Marquette fastball,
yep.
Again, it's like one of the few things in my life I've had a vision about, and it's like it met the expectation. I had that vision that could happen, and he hit it like almost exactly where I pictured it. 2-0 lead. Let us relax the rest of the day. Cody, if you never hit another big one, I hope you do.
Yeah, you better.
That was a big time home run, and not to be really outdone by Max Muncy, who took one out the back door at 99 miles an hour. Those dudes, they can mash, and I'm excited for them to get some hacks again tonight. But props, Belly, you're my boy. I've wanted to absolutely rip my hair out over you, but and Clint has too. But again, you came through when it counted, and we love you.
Yeah, and the other guy who's been kind of coming through all season, Maxwell Stephen Muncy, the legend of Deep Forest, the Wolf Boy himself, man. That shot, his 2-run shot, man. It's just you kind of had a feeling he was going to step up in that kind of game, and boy, did he ever. What he ended the season, that was his 34th dinger. 98, you wrote it down right here perfectly for me. 98 out in the back door. I mean, that homeboy got it, and just the swagger when he knows he has it. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, that was hitting. I mean, I can't tell someone, if people out there understand, like just to take a pitch like that. Not just any hitter can go with a pitch like that and again drive it out the other way at 98 miles an hour. Max is a professional, scary hitter. There's a reason why he's hitting in front of Manny Machado.
Yep.
And again, to be able to have a guy like that just kind of fall from the sky, our front office I think doesn't get enough credit because again, he had a 960 something OPS. He is a monster. He has all kinds of headaches. He is basically Freddie Freeman, folks. Everybody loves Freddie Freeman. Everybody's scared of Freddie Freeman. We got our own Freddie Freeman. He's a little bit different shape and size. His name is Maxwell Stephen Muncy. That
abso-fruitly, man. We also got one of our regulars, our friend 123 Kowski. He just tweeted us. He just tweeted us from the ball game. He's out there. He says, "Come on down to Area 51." I'll go ahead and throw that up on the screen. He got his rally towel going. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for thinking of us, 123 Kowski, man. It's looking good. So I think again, I'll throw the lineup back up again when while we talk about our picks to click. And I'll go ahead and let you lead off. But guys, everybody in the stream, anybody who's still hanging out with us, I know everybody's getting geeked, getting excited. You know, you got MLB Network pregame going already for anybody watching. So we know anybody who's still here with us, you guys are the hardcores, and we do this stuff for you, and also because we enjoy it. But let us know your picks. We want to know who you think's going to have a big game or a big series.
Yeah, guys, call out your picks to click if you're out there listening. So I'm going to go with a little different kind of pick to click tonight. Hopefully it backfires and jinxes. I can see Ronald Acuna like doing scary things to the lefty Ryu. Again, Acuna's a scary man. I hate to go there. I don't want to be negative.
Bad man.
Let's not have him be Andrew Jones Redux hitting 2 bombs in a postseason game, age 20. On the Dodgers side, pick to click against the Folty. You know what? I'm gonna say Jock Peterson hits a home run tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the postseason. Let's not forget how well Jock did last postseason.
Yes.
To Jock Shakur leading off again. Jock can handle power and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he catches a mistake and hits it out, you know, down into the opposing bullpen.
Yeah.
Down the right field.
No, it's a good call, man. Like, if you're going with Jock in this series, or honestly even going with like a Kike, who's not my guy, but that dude's he's 11 for his last 20. He's kind of got it figured out that not everything needs to be your you know, hitting the ball with square. You know, sometimes you can finesse the ball into the gap. He's still got power. But my guy, we just talked about him earlier, Max Muncy. I'm not only a good game, but I'm expecting Muncy to have 2 or 3 just key moments in this series. And he's a dude who's, I mean, the bat's been there all season, but early on, you know, you were kind of concerned about that glove. You know, he can tell he's put in the work at first base. He's now pretty serviceable over there. He's somebody where he's going to help scoop a couple from JT and with Manny Michelotto. So I dig it, man, and I really like Max Muncy this series. You could brook it.
Great call, dude. Yeah, I mean, again, he hits them in bunches, and he hits a lot. So,
yeah.
I mean, again, that's a nice pick, and I like that. Like, either of us leaned on like a Turner or a Machado. If those guys come through, obviously that's great. But you know, we kind of went a little bit outside the box. I don't have any picks to click here. Just being asked, is the game going to be only on MLB Network? Yes, from what I understand. Again, Dodgers Nation post game host. Hit him up on Twitter at Bergman Greg. He will probably try and help you find a way to watch the game. He's a good guy.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun post game too. Hopefully he has a good one, something good to talk about after the game, I should say. And you know what, to give myself a selfless plug, Blue Heaven Podcast is new episodes every Wednesday, and I think we're also going to put one out this week on Sunday to kind of or Saturday to have a, you know, kind of touch on the series. We're going to for as long as the Dodgers are in the postseason, we're going to try to run out 2 of them a week. But this past week, this last episode that just came out yesterday, we had some good stuff. We had stadium organist and musical director, Mr. Dieter Rule, who's, I mean, he's just that guy is great, man. He's a legend. He's fun. It's a long episode, but it's some good stuff. We also actually, you want to touch on that one a bit? You sound like you had something.
Well, I just wanted, I didn't mean to cut you off at all. I just wanted to tell people, you know, I've listened to every one of you guys' episodes. This was my favorite yet. I mean, and I'm not just saying that. It was the one I enjoyed most. Like, listening to Dieter and then the guy you're about to mention who used to do for Dodgers Nation what I do, the editor.
Yeah. Gabe Burns, who was a former DN guy. You know, he's real good at what he did for the short time he did it with Dodgers Nation last season. But he's now an Atlanta Braves beat writer for the AJC, or what was it, Atlanta Junction Constitute? Yeah.
Atlanta Journal.
Juno, whatever it was, Journal. Yeah, he's he knows these Braves. He sees them. He has a relationship with these dudes, and it's some good stuff. You know, he kind of gives us some key secrets. So hopefully the Dodgers listen to it and got some cheat codes out of it or something like that. But yeah, it's fun stuff, man. Every Wednesday, Blue Heaven, check it out. After every game, we got Greg Bergman on the DN post game, answering all your guys' craziness, you guys' crazy questions. That's my like top 3 Bergman impression right there.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let's see. BG Rule over here on Facebook says Max Muncy has Corey Seager's worth ethic, and they agree with us. Get your story straight now. He also thinks, well, he or she, I can't quite tell, but I think it's a person. This human person also thinks that Dozier might surprise us, and I'm okay with that.
The guy's got glove.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say that the boy can play some defense. You sub him in late, he saves runs. I've never seen him do bad things really defensively.
No.
I like how he plays. He's a grinder. He's been in this spot. He's played in postseason games. Hard to argue against him being your 25th guy off the bench. That's a decent team. I mean, he dropped 40-something bombs a few years ago. I know it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
He proved Sunday, game 162, that he still can drive a ball out of the park.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, he's it's there. You know what's in him. Just before this season, he was a consensus top 3 second baseman, offensive and defensive second baseman. And you got ball game coming up pretty close over here on for Colorado and Milwaukee. Still 2-0 Milwaukee, but 2 on, no out. Charlie Blackmon up for Colorado. Big time stuff right here. Their closer Jeffers is up. Have you had a chance to?
You might be on a little bit of a delay, my friend. Something's going to happen. But it's 2-1 Milwaukee right now. I think Blackmon doubles.
How did you get ahead of me? I'm watching watching it straight up.
I get texts on my phone that are actually ahead of live TV when runs are scored in baseball.
Unacceptable.
Because I'm a loser. No, I'm kidding. But that's how I knew that. Where were we? Well, so gut feeling on the game tonight, real quick.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. And well, everybody also in the stream, let us know your thoughts on the game. What do you think the outcome's going to end up being?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, it's okay out there if you don't feel like we're going to win. I mean, again, I didn't get the feeling of overwhelming confidence from the 800 or so Dodgers people I follow and people I text with all day. Outside of us, I get a lot of texts that we're going to roll them, and I certainly feel like we will on paper. But the more I talk to Clint and some other guys that have a good pulse of this team, I mean, this just isn't a lock type game tonight. I don't get that feeling. And when you look at the lines that I think Clint's
that's going to throw those up for you.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I think, as I think about those, they were dead still all day. And again, doesn't really give us many clues as to what's going to happen. There's no real movement. I think it's probably going to move any minute now. There'll be a little bit on one side or the other. But, you look at them, and the Dodgers opened up as a 205 favorite. That's because Kershaw was the announced pitcher. Okay, when Clayton was pulled, we were switched over to Ryu. We moved to a 180, so we're still a heavy favorite, okay? But, with a little bit more of the bets on us, that 180 really didn't move all day long. So, what that means is, like, the odds makers, you're going to keep it there. They don't really know who's going to win the game. They don't have a feeling one way or another. So, that's why, Clint and I are talking. We're like, I don't know, man. This could go either way. And I do feel that way. If they're going to steal a game, it could be tonight, and then you could have some snowball effect.
Yeah.
Are you feeling any more confident as we're 10 minutes or so from game time?
My confidence hasn't wavered in this team, man. You got the A lineup out there against the righties. I don't think Atlanta's going to throw any lefties in this series, at least to start the game. So you're going to be rolling with basically these 8 dudes game to game, unless just something doesn't feel right for Roberts. It's kind of rough. You had Matty Kemp who got you there so much of the first half, and he might not see much time this game or this series. But I have a world of confidence in Mr. Ryu to lead us off the right way. And a lot of people don't remember like really this guy. And granted, it's kind of sort of he's a new guy now because they rebuilt him. They had the technology, but he was that ace 1C back in the olden times, in the lore of Kershaw and Greinke as the aces, the co-aces. Ryu was right there behind him in 13 and then in 14.
He was the prize 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think he threw up back-to-back like 16 win seasons or something like that. ERA was hardly a shade over 3, and You know, you look at what his last 5 game starts, his 1.5 ERA at the stadium. Beautiful home park, Chavez Ravine. This stadium is 5-2 with the 1.15 ERA. 9 game start, like I said. 0-1 with the 2.95 ERA in his career versus Atlanta, but he's also started against them in the postseason in the past. Not a good start. 3 innings, 4 earned runs, but he's somebody who's been there, and overall, I think his career postseason ERA is still also barely over 3 or something like that. He's gotten it done, and I think he'll get it done today. Boom, you have a sneak attack right afterwards with Kershaw in Game 2. Buell Doggy, you feel just the world of confidence in him in Game 3. I'm very confident in this series, and I'm confident again in my pick to click. You got Max Muncy playing with house money. Everybody's kind of rolling. I don't know, man. I feel good.
I'm glad you feel that way, man. So I'm going to pick against this tonight. I think we lose. This team has put us through the ringer all year. They're going to make our Fridays hard to get up for one more time. I think we lose tonight. I think we win the next 3. I do think we roll. I do think we go back to the World Series. But again, I think we lose tonight. I just have a strange feeling. And again, it's not overwhelming. But, some of the things Clint mentioned are in our favor. But let's hope I'm wrong. It looked like we were going to lose a few years ago when Atlanta put in a young Craig Kimbrell on a fateful night, and a veteran bailed us out. Do you remember that night well, Clint?
Oh, are we talking about the legend himself?
Haters gonna hate.
The greatest Dodger of all time?
In 20. Man.
Oh,
he
man.
was unbelievable.
Go Uribe.
Oh, my goodness.
Our lovable Uribe. Busted out that Uribe donger. I remember watching that at a bar with a couple of buddies, and the bar just blew up. Everybody just blew up.
The way I can still see the way he shucked the bat.
Yeah,
yeah. In only Juan Uribe, fashion. I mean, that boy was hot.
Yeah. Thank God for that missed bunt. Yeah.
What a night that was. That was one of my favorite Dodger postseason wins over the last 10 or so years. One last thing I want to say about Uribe that made him fun towards the end of his career. I think it was the following year. The end of his Dodgers career anyway, when he was called upon to pinch hit, it actually looked like he didn't even want to be put in the games. He was like, do I really have to? He just had that. I love his character.
Yeah, he just showed up to have fun. Yeah,
he did, man.
He was
like
good.
A bench coach.
He was really good people. Him and the tandem of JT. We got oh man, so we got a tie ball game, by the way.
Wow.
Craziness, you guys, craziness out there. So, what I was checking out, we saw on Twitch, we're seeing a couple comments over here. Hex Logic is not being very not being very fun or very fair, but they agree with you. Say Dodgers are going to lose. Let's see. We got a troll over on the YouTube side, so that's nice. And a bunch of people asking how to stream the game. Y'all ever heard of Google? Ask Jeeves.
Sniff it out. Yeah, ask Jeeves.
Ask this guy. Ask Mr. Friggin' Bergman. Oh, I dropped one. Sorry, nobody's listening.
No, it's cool.
Man.
The kids are in bed.
Yeah.
As we wind things down, I know we got off to a bumpy flight just with the sound.
Yeah.
Really appreciate everyone that joined us tonight. I mean, I think other than you being at the games, we're going to try and run these as much as we can. And I really appreciate the people like our buddy Kowski that tuned in from the stadium, and each and every one of you guys. You're what makes this great. And make sure you tune into the post game tonight. Keep it locked. Greg Berkman will drive you home. Hopefully talking about a win. Again, hopefully my intuition is right. I would definitely trust that Clint more than I would trust this Clint. Okay, when the dude's got a pulse on the Dodgers. He says we're going to be all right. So let's party. I mean, I'm ready to go. What do you got, man? As we kind of wind things down.
Like I said, I feel good about it. Everybody feel good about it. Everybody hang out with Bergman after the game. Hang out with everybody on Twitter. I know, we're going to be hanging around Twitter. You live and die with these ball games on Twitter these days. If you're missing a lot if you're not on Twitter, because you're missing out on being really in tune with the ball game, and and just living and dying. You know, it's the next best thing to being at a bar or being at the game.
Yeah, it's good, man. And they're honestly not living if they're listening to this show and they're not going on their Twitter right now and following @RealFRG. They're missing out because I mean the boy is on point. And me, you know what I can say about me is anybody out there that hits me up, I'll probably answer you back and like I love when people give me shit. I just do.
Yeah.
So you know, get after me a little bit. Let's talk some baseball. Hit me up on Twitter. But you know, absolutely. I mean, let's see. We have one question. Do they talk about the game that's happening right now? Yeah. So Steeler Nation, that Clint just said that the
tie ball game.
Tie ball game. So maybe the Giant falls early, right?
Yeah.
Got Milwaukee just cakewalking.
They
fall. That would make me feel a little better.
Yeah, they're closer, man. I think. Well, we just had a really cool article come out, Dodgers Roundtable, on Dodgers Nation. Everybody kind of gave their picks, and you know, I think you know, consensus has it being Milwaukee, but I feel pretty confident. You know, National League West representing. I don't remember what I wrote, but you know what? Everything changes in one day, and I feel pretty confident about the NL West representing in the championship series.
Yeah, you and Gary both said that.
Yeah.
You know, and the Rockies have a chip on their shoulder. You know, they survived that great game the other night in Chicago. Yep. We didn't get to touch on it like we'd like to, but that's a tough team that we overcame.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're showing their grit tonight, climbing out of a 2-0 hole against that Brewers bullpen. That's no joke. You know, again, we got a quick shout out. Cucanet says hi on the Periscope, but I don't have a lot else, man. You guys,
nope.
Make sure you're heading over to iTunes and subscribe to the Blue Heaven podcast. Give this week's show a listen, especially with Dieter Rule, Clint, and my friend Kevin, who's probably on your doorstep.
Yeah, Kevin's your friend. Should be here pretty soon. You better have some beer.
I'll be messing with you guys on Twitter, no doubt. I'll be with you there in spirit, and you know, let's get a W tonight. Yeah,
and I think to walk us off here, Steven Latner says it no better than anybody could say it. He says it's time for Dodgers baseball, and we'll see you guys next time. I'll see some of you maybe at the ballpark tomorrow. I'll be there, and hopefully we get Mr. Clint Evans back out here in L.A. in a week or two notice.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a way, guys. If I have to jump on a Greyhound, if I have to hitchhike, if we make the World Series, I will be back out there, and you know, we'll get into some trouble. I promise you that.
That's 100% sure.
Let's get the party started tonight, huh?
Yep. MLB Network, guys.
Go Dodgers, baby.
Go Dodgers. Bye, everybody.